Thank the Lord for these next few days off because the Washington Commanders need it. Not only did we get destroyed on Thursday Night Football, but we got banged up pretty good, including our guy 5. Let's talk about it.
Shout out to Juan Gotti talking sports. You know what it is.
Shout out Wall Gotti talking sports.
The way that we live is not for everybody.
Nah, that ain't it, y'all.
How do you think the rest of Jayden Daniels' career is going to go? If we're, 6, 7 games into Jayden Daniels' career, and he's already milking injuries? Like,
stop saying my name, you dick riding bastard. I love the way she move it, shake it on me. When she cry for him, the shawty is the winner. You can tell that shawty low beginner, she's confident.
So yesterday's game was pretty bad. Obviously, we lost. We didn't look prepared. We didn't look like the team that we thought we were. And the Green Bay Packers were much better, and clearly they, at this point, are the better team. But even bigger than that, we got hurt pretty bad. Quite a bit of injuries hit the Washington Commanders, and not no small injuries neither, and not injuries that are on players that we can just survive without necessarily. Yes, we can, but what essentially I'm saying is these guys were impactful players. But before we get to any of those guys, we got to talk about the biggest person of them all. That's Jayden Daniels. Yesterday, Jayden Daniels got beat up. Let's just call it what it is. Yesterday, he was not good himself. He was inaccurate. He was short-armed a lot of passes. He wasn't good himself. But his offensive line, play calling, didn't do it any favor. Why are we throwing the ball 42 times? Why didn't we establish the run game? But anyways, we're past that. He got hit in almost every single play. I would love to look at the stat to see how many times he got hit yesterday, because it seemed like every single play Jayden Daniels dropped back the pass, he was getting hit. Like, I thought it was Sam Howell and Eric Bieniemy the way I was watching that game yesterday, and how many times Jayden Daniels dropped back. But we already knew he came into this game with a wrist injury, and he left pretty banged up. Remember, they were going to take him out of the game when the eventual scoring drive that we had late. They were going to take him out of the game, but he chose not to come out and eventually staying in. He waved off the trainers, and he ended up leading us to a scoring drive. But now, according to Paulson on Brandon on Twitter, he says that Washington quarterback Jayden Daniels had got an MRI on his knee today, as he was limping pretty good. Now, again, I'm going to be the real fan here and like just honestly realistic and just play the middle in the gray area in a sense. On one hand, we don't know the results, right? We don't know the results, and him staying in this game leans more towards it not being super serious. Now, the negative part about it is we don't know the results, right? We don't know what this damage could potentially be, and even if he plays, how effective or lack thereof will he be. That's why I kicked this video off at the top and said thank God for these next few days off, because we need them badly. None bigger than our quarterback. Yes, Austin Ekeler went down, Dedric Wise went down, so those other guys went down. We'll talk about it a little bit later because those are kind of big hits, but none bigger than quarterback one, QB1, Jayden Daniels, and we need to make sure he's healthy, because he's literally our season. He's literally our season right there. If Jayden Daniels isn't playing, man, I can't tell you. I can tell you exactly where this season's going to go, if I'm being honest with you. So that definitely sucks, but we don't want to overreact and over panic. We got to wait to see the future results and whatnot. But him getting an MRI definitely does not bode well for our panic level right now, right? But Grant Paulson said it on Twitter. Jayden Daniels got an MRI today on his knee. After taking some hits last night, he was said to be limping pretty good at the end of the game. And he follows up with not good. But again, 10 days to rest it. I expect Jayden Daniels to not miss any time. I expect him to be fine. But of course, you got to report on it, because this is literally the face of the franchise, the biggest player on our team, right? So it would be definitely crazy to not report it. Next up, we lost Dedric Wise on a play that is some BS, if you ask me. On a field goal, on a PAT, whatever may have you, special teams. Dedric Wise got hurt, got rolled up on, and he had sustained a quadricep injury that is going to be having him out for the whole entire season. And that sucks, because Dedric Wise, he played well in week 1. And we expected big things from him this year, if we're being honest. We definitely needed him, right? Especially when it comes to this depth and how great I said this interior line was to be. It was a big part because of Dedric Wise. And we seen it early on in week 1, and for that matter, week 2 versus the Packers. Josh Jacobs, he had some nice runs down by the goal line, but a lot of them were short yardage gains. He didn't really gash us, and a big part of that was for our defensive line depth and our defensive line starters. But now you're tapping into that depth. I don't know if you gotta call up a Jalen Holmes. I don't know what you're gonna do. Hopefully you don't bring back Cleveland Furr, because I don't think he benefits you in any way. But now you have a hole you have to fill, because now you don't have Dedric Wise, who I thought was really, really solid. And again, these plays that he gets hurt on is just so fluky. It's like, it's one thing to get hurt on a defensive play, on a freaking PAT, and you get rolled up on, man. Golly. And then next up, we lost Austin Ekeler. I feel so bad for Ekeler, man. I really do. It's like this guy can't catch a break. Every single year, he's getting hurt. The 2 years he's been here, he's always been hurt. And it's 2 concussions last year, both on kick return. And then today, or yesterday, he's out there running around, trying to run and push off. You know, they say something about the negative step, or whatever may have you when it comes to the Achilles pops. And now his Achilles is done, and most likely he'll be done for the year. And maybe that's the last we've seen of Austin Ekeler in the NFL, because I don't know how much longer he can continue to put his body through this. This is a guy that was already questioning retirement last year. So I have a hard time believing that he's going to come back from this and wanting to continue to still put his body through these things. That's probably the biggest devastating loss I think for us, is because Eck meant a lot to this organization, not just his play on the field, but how he was as a leader, veteran guy, and still serviceable. Now, on the flip side, maybe this finally opens up the hole and room, I should say, for Bill. Right? Yesterday, Bill had 4 carries. It should never be a game in which Bill Krosky-Murray only has 4 carries for 17 yards. That's ridiculous. So maybe hopefully this ends the running back by committee BS that we had. At first, I was all for it. But once Bill solidified that he's RB1 and showed you week 1 that he's that guy, I felt like the running back by committee should have went out the window. Running back by committee should have went out the window, if we're being honest. But his career is probably done. Donovan Edwards is a name that everyone keeps talking about bringing up. They're going to call up Chris Rodriguez. And remember, a lot of people were making a big noise about Chris Rodriguez not playing. And now he's going to have to play by default. Got to play by default, and maybe this is a blessing in disguise. I hate that it had to come to losing Eck and whatnot, but they have no other choice but to go with Bill. Right? You're not gonna make J-Mac your primary ball carrier. You're not gonna make C-Rod your primary ball carrier. It got to be deuce. So I hate that it came to this, but this is probably what Bill needed to finally have them say, "Take me off the bubble wrap. I'm ready to rock and roll. I proved that to you. There's no reason why I should ever have a game where I'm not touching the ball more than 4. Was it 4 times? I could be all wrong, but I thought it was like 4 carries for 17 yards and like 15 plays he was in. You should never have that. Another injury that we sustained, Noah Brown. He didn't play well yesterday. Y'all know Noah Brown's my guy. And it definitely sucked seeing him drop passes and stuff like that. But he sustained another injury, and every single game, again, it seems like Noah Brown's always getting banged up as well. This one, luckily, doesn't seem to be too serious, but it is a growing injury. And we know growing injuries and hamstring injuries on receivers and cornerbacks are very, very tedious. So I don't know if you want to push him or whatever may have you. We'll see how he's feeling after these 10 days. They have practically off in the sense. But he's a guy that we can't afford to lose. His receiving core is already not the best. And Noah Brown, quite frankly, isn't the best guy. You can do better than Noah Brown, of course. But we need all hands on deck, man. We truly do. And then after him, Jonathan Jones went down with the injury that's happened into our cornerback depth. He has a hamstring. Remember, prior to the season starting, he was on the injury report with already a hamstring. So I don't know if he re-aggravated it. I don't know if it got worse. I don't know what may have you with Jonathan Jones. But he definitely dealt with a hamstring, and that's a little bit concerning as well. Because again, cornerbacks, wide receivers, hamstrings, groins are the biggest things for them that they need the most. And then Brandon Coleman also went down early in the game. He returned during the game, so that should be fine. And then the biggest one offensively outside of Eck, obviously, is John Bates. I'm not sure what the injury status is on John Bates right now, but we need him. He was severely missed yesterday, considering the fact that he's the best blocking tight end in football, if not one of the best. And we could have used him mightily for chipping against Micah Parsons. He was dearly missed. So I'm hoping that his injury status isn't too severe. Hopefully he doesn't miss much time, because we definitely need JBZ. But that being said, not the most positive video, not the most positive update. But again, as I mentioned at the top of the show, we got 10 days off, and for the biggest player on this team, that's what's needed. And I don't expect his knee to be too serious, but of course, do all the MRI testing that you need, because this is literally the franchise we're talking about here. But that being said, let me know what you guys think about this video down below in the comment section. As always, me and boy Juan Gotti. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe to the channel on the road to 11,000 subscribers. We really appreciate if you can reach that goal as soon as possible. Thank you so much. You have a blessed one. Stay safe. Easy out there. Peace.
Never gave up one day. Ballin' like I'm Deshaun, throw the bomb, G. That's IG, my jersey never seen a line.